Cooper Kupp obviously had a fantastic season, a very historical season as far as receiving production goes. Matthew Stafford's coming back. Yeah, he had a small elbow procedure in the offseason. He's getting some shots. Sean McVay's not concerned, so neither am I. Cam Akers is coming back healthy. Him and Darrell Henderson are splitting touches in the backfield, which is probably the smartest way to go about it. They're just the best team in the division. They have the best defensive players. They still got Jalen Ramsey. They still got Aaron, unblockable Donald. It's not even we're talking about the division at this point. We're talking about contending for the number 1 seed in the NFC, which is not an unrealistic expectation given the departure in Green Bay. So to me, I mean, the Rams do finish the number 1 seed in the NFC. I think they lock it up week 17. All the starters take an easy break week 18. Give me 13-4 for these guys.
I got 12-5, finishing first in the division. Allen Robinson's a solid addition. He takes that spot that Odell Beckham Jr. vacates. Now, having said that, there's rumors that Odell Beckham Jr. might be going back to the Rams. So if you give me Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr., Allen Robinson, and Van Jefferson as your 4 starting wide receivers, I actually increased their wins by a number. Giving Matt Stafford that many weapons is going to be a dangerous offense to try and contend with. Most teams don't have that amount of corners to just line up on the field. It's just not available. So for me right now, where they sit, they're a 12-5 team. Cooper Kupp, as Ryan pointed out, coming off a historic year. Matt Stafford coming off a great year himself. They're obviously the team to beat in the West. They're the team to beat in the NFC right now because they're coming off of the Super Bowl victory.
Team to beat in the league.
Team to beat in the league because they just come off the Super Bowl victory. And let's not put down anything that Tyler Higbee has started to do with Matt Stafford there. He's become a pretty prominent tight end there in Los Angeles with Matt Stafford as the quarterback. I'm not saying he's like super significant in game planning. However, teams have to look out for him. So for me, 12-5, I think they slip up a little bit against the Niners again in the division, probably lose one of the Cardinals and 1 or 2 somewhere else.
My biggest thing that I've seen, first off, I'm going to touch on this comment from John. They're going to repeat. I will never bet on anybody to repeat any kind of championship. I don't think people understand how hard it is to even go back, back-to-back appearances, the stuff that Tom Brady's done throughout his career. Like it's unprecedented. However, I'm never going to bet on anybody to win back-to-back because it's just so hard to do. The odds are, while on paper, yes, they look like they have a great team. They are returning pretty much everybody, maybe even gaining a little bit at the running back position with a healthy Darrell Henderson and Cam Akers, who is a great pass catching and running weapon out of the backfield. But it's so hard to do that. Sports are so unpredictable. One injury to Cooper Kupp drastically changes, that offense. One injury to Matthew Stafford drastically. There's so many things that can happen. It is so hard to guarantee a repeat. So if I was a betting man, I wouldn't bet on the Rams to repeat. However, on paper, it wouldn't surprise me.
I am saying the Vans will finish 12-5. I didn't have to use my finger this time, guys. I got this.
Because it was less than 5, right? Or it was 5 and less. You could keep going.
Exactly.
Good job.
Matthew Stafford throws the ball, and he don't care if it's the interception or not. He's going to sling the ball downfield.
Very Brett Favre-esque.
Yep.
He don't care. If he's going to have weapons, if Odell goes back to them, I'm taking Matthew Stafford any day.
I mean, he did throw 17 interceptions last year. It's not like he was flawless, 40 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He turned the ball over a little bit, but that's his style of football. He's a gunslinger, Yep. And I think everybody from this point on in their career is always going to get compared to Brett Favre when it comes to the term gunslinger, but that's really who he is. Now that he finally has the weapons to do something, he's more on the positive side of it. But he could be even better this year. Maybe as his arm strength starts to deteriorate, he's 34 years old. He becomes a little bit more efficient. But for now, if he's got the arm strength, let it fly, buddy.
Yeah, let's not forget that he's got the two number 1 wide receiver receiving yards in history are under Matt Stafford. Let's not put that away at all. Matt Stafford's still gonna gun it, and he's got a pretty good. I think what did he complete? 68.6% of his passes last season. He's accurate as well. You're talking 7 out of 10 passes hits its target. So yeah, the Rams are obviously the team to beat for me in the NFC right now. But I agree with Ryan. I'm not saying in any aspect that they're going to repeat.
Yeah, on paper, no injuries, that type of stuff. I could see a repeat, but there's just too many crazy things that happen in the sport of football for me to agree that they're going to repeat. I don't know who will win the Super Bowl. That's why I mean, at this point in time, I'm not going to make a bet on it, but there's just such an interesting dynamic of football. So
yeah, we're going to talk about the 49ers now. Yep. But I was going to say that the Rams are going to finish first in my division. So then,
you gave us your prediction. Yeah.
Bill, you can go first, okay? A little jealous.
I mean, you went Ryan 3 times in a row, bro.
It's easier to look left for me than right.
For what it's worth, I kind of wish you had given me the Rams. I had a lot more to talk about with the Rams. Ryan is the tits on the Niners. He's got like all the information on Trey Lance and everything like that. But what I have written down, Ryan obviously has it in his brain, is Trey Lance is green, obviously, but he played pretty well in his few starts last year. Kyle Shanahan is excellent at putting players with certain skill sets in space and utilizing them to what they are good at, utilizing their abilities to be successful. Let's not take away again. That's a great defensive team over there in San Francisco. It's a really good offensive team that just made it to the NFC Championship game with Jimmy Garoppolo, who is not as good, in my opinion, as Trey Lance. So this is a team that will finish second in this division. And they are going to go 11-6. And they also will be making the playoffs.
I have the Niners second in the division at 10-7. I think they win the not the wild card, the tiebreaker over the Cardinals. Trey Lance is probably my favorite prospect. There's a lot of Trey Lance hate out there. A lot of it was developed early in the offseason because the 49ers did not immediately move Jimmy Garoppolo. So there was a lot of development.
Injury was non-contact.
Yeah. Talking about Drake London?
Yeah.
Sorry. After one play, actually, funny enough. But like I said, Drake London was going to bust this year, but that's fine. Anyway, back to Trey Lance. Yes, Trey Lance is green. He did not look fantastic passing the ball last year in his first 2 starts. It means nothing, and it shouldn't mean anything to anybody else. The reality of the situation is if we judged every single quarterback on their first 2 starts passing the ball, nobody would get a second year, So if we break this down, ultimately, like, this is Trey Lance's rookie year coming in. He just has a better understanding of the offense now. He's developed, I think, not from the best aspect, but he had the right kind of mentor in Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo plays a safe type of football. He's not going to make the big play. He's not going to make the big mistake. That was something that Trey Lance kind of needed to learn because Trey Lance is a very big play individual. He's very good on his feet, and he has a very strong arm. This is a potential gold mine of a quarterback. This is potentially Josh Allen 2.0 for the 49ers, and if they strike gold with this is going to be massive. There's a lot of work to be done, so sitting him for the first season was the right move. I'm big on Trey Lance's talent. I like his arm talent. I like his mobility. He has all the appropriate weapons around him. George Kittle is probably the most talented tight end in the NFL. He just can't stay healthy for the most part. Deebo Samuel obviously just got his contract. He's a dual threat. He's a wide back, can catch the ball, can run out of the backfield, which really helped Trey. Obviously, Kyle Shanahan teams do a very good job of running the football to take the pressure off of Trey Lance, and Trey can run the ball himself too. Let's not sleep on Brandon Ayuk here, who's a very good deep threat. He just hasn't been properly utilized. 1, because he can't get out of Kyle Shanahan's doghouse, and 2, Jimmy Garoppolo is just not the right type of quarterback for him. I think the weapons are there. I think the coaching is there. I think all the pieces are in place for Trey Lance to succeed. There will just be some growing pains this year. He is in his rookie year, essentially. So I think there will be some growing pains. I don't think that they can catch the Rams yet. I would say in a year or 2, they actually become a serious contender for that. But I think all in all, the 49ers are talented enough and coached well enough that they will indeed finish ahead of the Cardinals.
I think they're going to finish 10-7 also. And I'm not huge on Trey Lance, like Ryan said. Like, there's haters out there. I am one of those haters.
Yeah, you are.
I hope he proves me wrong. I'm not hating on the 49ers. I never hated them. I always liked them as a team. I guess they're going to finish second in the division. It's like a Jalen Hurts in that division, basically. They're going to make it to the playoffs, and the third year would be what really counts for them. Like how he can finish the third year.
I think his floor as a passer is like Jalen Hurts. I mean, Jalen Hurts doesn't nearly have the same kind of arm strength, but I feel like that's probably the worst Trey Lance can do. And like I already made the Josh Allen comp. I don't know that he'll hit the Josh Allen comp, but they're both big-bodied, mobile, strong-arm quarterbacks, so it's possible. I think he falls somewhere probably in the middle on the higher end of that scale, though.
Okay.
Anything else, Timmy?
Nah, that's it, boys.
That's it? That's your show? That's all you got?
Yeah.
Only 55 minutes, dude? That's it?
I think that's pretty good for my first show. I got five times.
Yeah, dude.
You deserved it 5 times.
Yeah, I've never gotten fired 5 times in the same day.
And I'm still on the show. Like, you haven't kicked me off.
Weird. It's weird.
Yeah, anyway, so like I was saying.
Back to BSing Sports.
I knew that was coming.
All right, that was just take 1. We got to do the show all over again with some realistic opinion. I'm just kidding.
We can't. The football's coming on. Eagles.
Yeah, that's true. The Eagles kick off in 4 minutes.
We do, and the Phillies. I know it's not a
first pitch is 7:10.
7:10 exactly.
So I get to watch the starters, and then first pitch will come on.
From what I understand, we're going to get Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown for one series. Devontae Smith is already sitting out this game.
To touch on it real fast, I didn't hear a lot of good things from about that open practice, or just really the practices in general. You know, Jake Biasato, our good friend at Talking 215, they did an episode because him and his co-hosts were both at the open practice, and neither one of them liked what they saw. You know, a lot of errant passes. It was a not defensive dominated. It was just not a good offensive performance. And, I didn't watch the open practice, but if that's the case, I would have these guys play for a whole quarter.
So I get what Jake was saying, but the defense improved. So the offense is going to struggle to begin with.
Yeah, and that's what he was saying is it didn't look like the defense dominated the practice. It just looked like the offense fell flat on its face for the most part. And
I'm actually glad you got. Oh, sorry, again.
If that's the case, I would have them play a whole quarter. Be like, y'all need to get this right because we only have 3 games, and realistically, the starters aren't going to play the last one.
That's true. I'm glad you guys brought the Eagles up because I did write a season preview article. It focuses a bit on.
Check it out.
It focuses a bit on, not really the addition of defense so much. I'll write another article about the defensive additions. However, I focus on offense on this one. So it'll be on the website probably in the next hour or so. Go check it out. I'll copy and paste the link to Twitter. I'll copy and paste the link to Facebook. I'll copy and paste the link pretty much anywhere I can find it to copy and paste. So get on there, give it a read. Please make some comments. Everybody who comments on it is awesome for us. And if Ryan and Timmy are done, read Bill's article. I love it. Oh, hold on. That's good. That's good. So that's going to do it for us here at BSing Sports. You ready, Ryan?
No, hold on.
Ramble. Extra few words. Thanks for joining us here on BSing Sports, where we do a little BS and we talk a whole lot of sports.
Thanks for coming out, guys. I appreciate, all the support. That was a very interactive show today. We got, lots of support. Like I said, every like, share, comment, it's all free and it doesn't really take that much effort, believe it or not. So, thanks again, guys.
Stay tuned for BSSN, BSing Sports Network.
Yeah, keep an eye out for BSSN. Also, next week, we will be going over the Norths. So if anybody can come up with a creative title for the show, like Wild Wild Wests, feel free. It also might be our biggest show. We might potentially have some guests coming on. So check that out, guys. That being said, we're out.